Welcome to the Vortex.
Like I said before, I was watching. The convention center was 3 times worse. They were shooting. You could hear the gunfire going back and forth. At nighttime, you could hear them shooting out the helicopters, shooting back at the helicopters.
So nobody was helping, like the military that was supposed to be helping, they were not giving medicine to anybody, regardless of color or...
Color. I went to the Red Cross. I had a lady I sat with, a Spanish family. I sat with her sister-in-law, and her brother, and 2 brothers. This lady had a brain tumor. She had cancer, right? She was getting ready to go through chemotherapy. Now, I went to the Red Cross myself and asked them for her medicine. She wrote it down on a piece of paper. And I went to the Red Cross, stood in line for about 5 hours while this lady laid on a blanket on a football field. I asked them for the medicine and handed it to them. They said, y'all on your own, do what y'all can do. I had to go back down there and tell this lady that. And the night of the shooting of the MP, I got separated from them. I sat with the Spanish family, with the little girl I was with, and a couple other people. After that night right there, they started arguing amongst each other. Fist fight night, 2 women on the football field. I mean, people would lose. You got to understand, nobody took showers for a week. People couldn't, they wasn't eating.
Go to the bathroom anywhere.
No place to use the restroom. There's no reason in the world that people should have been left there that long. They could have got them out of there sooner than that. I don't understand that. And there was more than, I could tell you 2 different ways right there where you could have got them out without even messing with the buses. They were so, that's where a lot of your looting started coming.
How do you think they should have gotten them out?
I went to the military myself, right? And I spoke to a rank officer, right? And sat right there. I said, there's no, I said, why are y'all doing this? Why are y'all letting them die like this? I said, me and him sat for a while and talked. I said, man, he even said that, you need to mention it to him. I said, they could send tugboats right now with 6 empty deck barges, and we could walk from the dome to the river walk and get on these barges. You could put 10,000 people on 6 empty deck barges and get them to Baton Rouge. Just get them out of here. And he said, that's a good idea, but they didn't. It was, I don't understand it. I don't understand why they let them stay in there so long. Then you had to smell dead people. You had the smell of human waste. There was literally trash on the ground where there wasn't a time you wasn't walking through a foot of trash. There were dogs. People were coming in with dogs, cats. So the dogs were using the bathroom all over the ground.
Now, did you become ill at any point?
I never became physically ill. I did catch the day we left. When you walk through the New Orleans Center. When you walk through the New Orleans Center, they like busted a store window up and they were making everybody put their dogs in there. When I got on the bus, I caught a rash on my legs. I walked through the water. Now,
you walked through the flood water.
I walked through. Well, before you got on the bus, you had to walk through like 2 foot of water to get on the bus. It was right at this bottom step of the bus when you got on. I met a guy.
When you came down out of the dome.
Came out of the dome, you went right straight into the New Orleans Center, which is a shopping center. You walked through the shopping center and you came out on the back street, which they had lost sandbag and they had pumps running to get a bus in there, and you got straight on the interstate. 2 days before that, the last 2 days in there, let me tell you how ruthless it was. Out the corner of my eye, they had a heavy set fella that was overweight. He walked. After I got to know him, I picked him up off the ground. He was laying on the ground watching for 3 hours in the sun, laying on the ground. He was so overweight he couldn't get up. People were stepping on him like nothing, walking over. I made eye contact with him, and I went back. I walked up to him, and I picked him up. He was almost crying. He said, will you help me get up? I said, yeah, I'll help you get up. I picked him up, got him up. He was so overweight, I sat him on a chair. He sat right there for a minute. I said, listen to me, I'm going to move you into the shade. I moved him into the shade, all right? The man he had a pocket full of money. He said, I'm going to give you whatever it takes. He says, I'm overweight. He said, I walked from my house. It took me 12 hours to get here. He walked from Carrollton, all right? When he walked there, he actually passed by a gas station, and the gas must have overflowed from the water. His clothes were full of diesel, gasoline, and oil, right? Military didn't help him. Nobody helped him. He'd have died right there if I wouldn't have picked him up. I brought him by us. I put him under that little section of shade, and I put him in that shade. This time he was like, he offered me, he said, man, I said, I don't want no money. He offered me, he was digging in his pockets, because at this time you could go buy from the looters, you could buy a pack of cigarettes for $20.
Oh.
You could buy a pack of wet cigarettes and dry them out for $10, all right? So he was giving me money to go get him cigarettes. I quit smoking for 5 years before the storm. I started smoking right there the 5th day. They said, give me a pack of cigarettes too. As far as the looters came in with like just a simple bottle of Aleve or Advil, which the older people needed. They were selling that for $15, $20 a bottle. And a lot like the military watched, they let it go on. They watched people. It was almost at times like they let them do some of the stuff to hurt each other. I don't know, I don't understand it.
Some people have said that somebody wanted to get rid of the lower elements, what they consider the lower elements of New Orleans, and by allowing.
To be honest with you, I could tell you this: I was in there, and I'm a white man. I'm not prejudiced. I truly believe that at some point the reason they let a lot of them in there was because of the color of their skin. If you want to go there, I'll go there. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I watched it, all right? I watched it. Why didn't they take them out of there? How? Come on. You could send troops to the Middle East, but you can't evacuate 65,000 people out of one little place like that?
Yeah.
I watched it, and that's where a lot of your looting came in and rioting, because they were saying there was rumors that they busted the levee. I don't know what happened there, but I don't believe that, because the levee busted in so many different places in different parishes. I don't believe that, but I believe that they were left, a lot of people were left there. I believe that was racial. I really do believe it, to be honest with you. I'd be a hypocrite if I told you it wasn't, because there was accusations being made, there were statements being made, you know, so I can't explain. I know I watched a lot of people that died that shouldn't have died. They could have been out of there 5 days before that.
Is it true that the dome did flood inside?
No, that's a lie. I can honestly say there was human urine on the football field where he was walking.
Oh.
We went from upper to lower to lower to lower, where everybody was using the bathroom here, using the bathroom here, right? And the football field was saturated with human urine, all right? And then I watched women have babies on the football field, all right?
Oh.
I watched, there were so many newborns that didn't make it. Think about it. You got 65,000 people. How many of them were pregnant and went in labor? And they even had times where the military would announce it over everybody. Such and